That's what I was taught right here. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated being raised in this community. I got it from the teachers. I got it from the community that was so supportive of everything that I wanted to do. It was just an extraordinary experience. And when I decided to leave athletics, and I'll tell you the reason I left athletics, I did hold the school record at USC for 37 years, broken about 3 years ago. 1972, I was seeded 8th in the world. I went to the Olympic trials having broken my index finger 30 days prior. The longest throw of my life. I had won the indoor national championship at Cobo Hall. My second All-American, actually my first All-American certificate, actually won a national championship. And for the outdoor championship, my last warm-up throw before competition, this was at Eugene, Oregon, at Hayward Field. My last warm-up throw was the best throw of my life. Completely unprepared for it, but we train a lot for technique. I came across that ring, let that thing flip. First time in my life, I collected my balance, I stood up, and that thing was still in the air. And it landed right in front of the world record. And I thought to myself, man, you are ready today. And about that time, I felt this pain coming up my arm. What I didn't realize, when I let that thing fly, there was so much force in my hand that actually pushed my finger all the way back to my wrist, broke that knuckle. That knuckle kept me from going to the Olympics. Didn't keep me from going to the Olympic trials. I still went to the Olympic trials. And I think I came 6 or 7. Very, very disappointed, but I wasn't going to miss that. But that knuckle kept me from going to Olympic trials. And gentlemen, let me tell you, ladies, that knuckle has been a thorn in my butt every single day since that took place. Every morning in my life, people want to know, how do you do the things you do? I'm active, very active. I've done some wonderful things, and in fact, how many of you have heard of genetic medicine? You ever do anything in your sciences about genetics, genes and proteins, and how they're used for drugs and things that people do? I was part of a 6-person unit at SmithKline Beecham Corporation, which is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies that actually launched that entire industry. I was there, did have an education, but had focus and drive. And what got me there was this knuckle. And this knuckle, every single morning of my life when I get up, I think to myself, what is the knuckle in my life today? That one thing that I don't think about, that never occurs to me, that if it goes wrong, is going to prevent me from accomplishing the things that I want to do in my life. Every single morning of my day, I go through that. And every single day, I get up and I think to myself, be aware. What do I need to do? What are the personal responsibilities and accountabilities I have to take care of today? Simple things. And do you know where I learned those things? This didn't just fly out of the universe to me. I learned those things right here. The values and ethics that I was taught in this community, I can tell you, will serve you your entire life. The education that you get right here is spectacular. The resources that you have available, you cannot imagine what the rest of the world is like. We take it for granted because we don't know anything different. I didn't know any different. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have had so much more appreciation. Frankly, probably would study a little bit harder. But I did learn what I left here. And I want you all to know, with the resources and education that you have available right now, there isn't anything that you cannot accomplish in your lives when you leave here. Life is a team sport. And that team sport begins with the personal accountability and responsibility. So yes, I'm an active competitor. I love to compete. I love talking to you because I think you have an extraordinary opportunity. Unlike any other time I've seen in the world, period. What I'm seeing in the business world, this entire notion of entrepreneurship is phenomenal. Where you can take a single idea and you can grow a business. You can create incredible wealth. You can hire, you can employ so many different people. A time like we've never seen in this world before. You know, I hear all the bad things that are going on in the world, and I keep thinking to myself, if people only employ simple ideals, what's the knuckle that's going to keep you from accomplishing your goals? Are you taking care of your responsibilities? Are you being accountable for the things that you need to do? Folks, let me tell you, If you just learn those simple things and put them inside of you, you can do anything you want to do. Now, people always ask me, how is it 1968 I could throw a steel ball 71 feet, 70 feet 11 inches? And I was just joking. You know, I wish that we had a little bit better resources when I was here. I went over to the track field when I was here in the spring. Absolutely beautiful area for throwing the shot with nice cinder block. The ball hits and sticks right there. We didn't have that. We had dirt. You guys know what happens with dirt when it rains? It turns into mud. And you know when they measure shot put distance, they measure the point that's closest to the area where you threw it from. So they were actually measuring mud splatter fields. So every time I threw that ball, it would splatter up, and they measured from back here. My throw probably would have been 71 feet if it hadn't had the mud and the resources to throw 70 days. What a wonderful thing that would have been. Personal responsibility and accountability. But as athletes, you know this better than anyone else. There are only two things that you really need. And this is what people always ask me. How was I able to throw this shot put 71 feet? Yeah, I had some talent. You know, I was good at throwing things. Had spectacular coaching. Bob's brother, John S., incredible leader. Jim Fisher, incredible person. Had phenomenal support, but let me tell you what else I had. I knew I could do it. Everyone around me told me I could do it. Nobody around me told me I couldn't do it. And those people that did tell me I couldn't do it, I didn't pay attention. And I had it right here. Fire in the belly. And let me tell you something. You take care of your accountability and responsibilities. If you believe you can, you know in your heart you can, you can. You absolutely can. Now, I mentioned there are two reasons I came back here. One is to talk to you. The other one is to see this game tomorrow night. I told you, it has been 47 years since I saw Washington and Jefferson Football game. And I kid you not, being the team that put the one after that 37-game winning streak, buys my butt. And that one was Washington. So I'm expecting a tall amount of retribution tomorrow. So I want every one of you, before you get in that game, you just take out your can of whoop ass, put that lane on and spray it on every one of those Warriors. And I'm going to be looking at them. So you got tremendous opportunities here. I hope you take full advantage of it. Listen to what these people tell you, because believe me, from my experience, there isn't anything you will ever need when you leave this high school. Once you have those basic skills, once you understand the responsibilities, once you take it upon yourself to be accountable, you can be very successful in the team sport of life, and I hope you all will. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to be here.